Hi, my name is Michelle Lopez with SparkleFlodesigns.com, and today I want to tell you the story of a bathroom makeover project that I did recently. If you've seen the pictures above, you know it was a pretty dramatic makeover. It was an older home, 1946-ish, that just needed a little updating, and in particular there was this bathroom that had that jade green tile on the walls, and I had to come up with a finish that would kind of update the bathroom and also give it just that wow factor. And so, there were a lot of really wild tile colors from the 1940s and 50s, maybe some, baby blues and Pepto-Bismol pink and mauve and turquoise, light blue, other colors of blue, and the greens. And fortunately, the greens are really back in style again. And so I was able to find a lot of really great inspirational photos on Pinterest and the internet and in magazines that gave me something to work from. And I think I was really so pleased with the outcome, and I've had just a tremendous response from people that just absolutely love it. And so I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the transformation, what I did. Started out with a wallpaper on the walls. It's kind of a watercolory looking wallpaper with flowers, had a yellow background, which was a good kind of foil to the tile when it was put in. But the wallpaper had gotten into a state where it was peeling off the walls and kind of just crinkling, and it really needed to come down. So I had to figure out something that I could replace the wallpaper with and really make a statement, really make this bathroom sing, so to speak. And so I had seen a stencil one day on Royal Design Studio, posted it on Facebook. It was a brand new stencil, and it was called the Lisboa Tile Stencil. And something about that tile stencil, I just said, oh my gosh, I have got to have that tile stencil. And I got it the very same day that it actually came out. And it was something that I was like, I'm going to use that somewhere. I don't know where, but I know that I've just got to have that. So I ordered it, and then I came across this bathroom project, and I thought, oh my gosh, that would just be perfect for that wall. I didn't want to do like all four walls in some kind of really wild pattern, because I thought it's just a small bathroom, and just had a bath, a tub and a shower in it, and a little vanity and a toilet. And it was just kind of not big enough to really do anything too busy in there. So I came across the idea to do just a, just a focal wall, which a lot of people want to do when they're doing something really busy, so that they don't overwhelm a space. And so that's what I decided to do, that I would use this Lisboa tile stencil and just create a focal wall right on the wall that you would see when you would walk in the door. So the first thing I had to do, of course, in order to be able to do a new finish on the wall, I had to take the wallpaper down. Oh my gosh, that was an absolute nightmare. And it looked like it was just about to just be peeled off the wall easily. It looked like if I just started peeling it, it was going to come off like within, an hour. Well, nothing ever works out that way. If you've done any renovation projects or DIY, you'll know that things always take a lot longer than you really expect them to take. And this one was a nightmare. I used the paper tiger to score the wallpaper, and then I used the wallpaper remover gel, and I soaked it. I saturated it, and then I started to try to take the wallpaper off, and I basically just had to shred it. I basically had to just peel it off piece by piece. You'll see down below in some of the photos, the step-by-step photos where it is partially off the wall and partially still on the wall. And this took me, I don't know, at least a couple of days to do that part of the project. So once I got that done and got all of that wallpaper off the walls, then there were quite a few blips on the wall. There were cracks in the plaster. It's an old plaster wall house. And I had to go in and kind of fix those things. That I think that's probably why they had the wallpaper on the wall. For another reason why they had it on the wall was to kind of hide imperfections in that plaster finish. You know, it's an older home and has a lot of shifting, so that plaster just cracks, and you have to constantly be you know, covering up the flaws, or find another way to disguise them. And so I think the wallpaper was there for that purpose as well. So anyway, once I taped and, you know, floated the plaster cracks and all, then on that one wall in the front where you see the vanity and the mirror and all, I laid out the jade green, actual jade green plaster. It's almost an exact match to the jade green tile. It was just perfect. And so I started with that and made that, you know, really smooth surface for me to then layer on top of it multiple layers and create this really interesting pattern on the wall. So you'll see step by step I've taken the plaster, and then I troweled on some paint that I had allowed to set up to where it was thicker. I took the lid off the paint and let it get a little bit thicker. That was a Annie Sloan chalk paint in the duck egg blue, and so I troweled a little bit of that on. And then I took a it's called palette deco. It's a metallic plaster in, it's called a metallic pearl. And I troweled a little bit of that on there. All I was doing at this point was creating some movement over the green that, you know, the other layers, we would just see movement through the next layers that came. And so once I had troweled that metallic plaster on, the next thing I did was then go back and roll the same metallic plaster on that I had thinned out a little bit. And then I dragged a wallpaper brush horizontally through the metallic plaster to create that a strié look. So that gives you kind of almost like the look of a fabric if you want a texture on your wall. You can do it with flat paint, but when you do a plaster or something like that that has a little bit more thickness to it, it creates that really neat dimensional quality of fabric. And so after I had done the strié across with the metallic plaster, then I went across and kind of popped some gilding size across the surface in different areas. I didn't completely cover the wall with gilding size because I just wanted to have pops of foil, sparkly foil in just certain parts. I didn't want the entire wall covered in that. So I did the size and I went back and did it a second time after it's set up. And then I went ahead kind of randomly scrubbed some of this beautiful, let's see, what is it called? Silver Spectrum holographic foil. It just really catches the light beautifully. And I just popped it around on the surface of that metallic plaster kind of randomly, not, you know, in any kind of pattern or anything like that. And then I let that kind of set up a bit. And then I decided, you know, at the very last would be the stencil over all of those different layers. That Lisboa tile stencil that I talked about in the beginning, I started in the center of the wall and moved out left and right, because if you center it in the middle first, you end up evenly, you know, on each side, you end up with an even amount of the pattern, you know, exactly matching. And so I started up at the center in the middle, and what I did was I took the stencil and I pounced the jade green jade green plaster that I originally started with through the stencil. and it created again a dimensional quality the um, over the metallic plaster. After I pounced the jade green plaster through my stencil, my finish was almost complete. Only thing I had left to do was to protect the surface really well, because it was a bathroom. I knew that they would want to be scrubbing the wall, and I didn't want, the finish to get messed up. And so you pretty much want to do that with any surface that you want to be very durable. Furniture especially, walls in bathrooms and kitchens, kitchen cabinets, floors, of course. We're going to have high traffic. So anything that you want to be durable, then you need to protect it. So I used the Faux Effects AquaGuard Satin, which has just a slight sheen to it. I didn't want it to be super shiny because the metallic plaster was really shiny, had the foil that had a lot of sheen to it. So I didn't want it to be like super glossy, a little bit more subtle. So that's the one I used, and it worked really well. I don't have the vanity shown here because I'm going to show you that in a future post. I haven't gotten really good pictures of that yet, so stay tuned. Maybe I'll have that posted next week. But it's a really cool finish that was created by Rebecca Slayton of Surfaces Fine Paint. She sells Faux Effect products, and she does the most incredible finishes and has great customer service. So whenever I need Faux Effects products, I order from her. But anyway, keep reading below and you'll see my step-by-step photos, at least as many as I got. I wasn't really good about taking step-by-step at that point. I'm trying to do better. But just keep reading below and you'll see more about how I did this project.